Up your game and celebrate things done well with the great taste of Original 16, official beer of the Calgary Flames. All right, welcome to it. Our Flames postgame live is on the air. It is brought to you by Original 16. Brendan Parker alongside Cory Sarich after a heck of a hockey game here tonight. The first on Prime for the Calgary Flames this season here at the Scotiabank Saddledome. And almost have to treat this one like an extended road trip in some ways. But the Flames come back home for a quick one-off before heading to Vancouver tonight and play a pretty impressive home performance here. What did you make of the way that they figured out to get a 3-1 victory here tonight?
Well, that was a 60-minute effort. I mean, we talk about it all the time. It's the saying in hockey, getting it done, having consistency throughout those full 60 minutes, and it was a great effort by the Flames. They did everything they needed to do tonight, and to maybe steal it out of the coach's mouths, they stayed above LA's speed tonight. They did a great job of checking. They dumped pucks when they needed to at the end of the game to preserve the lead. They did all the right things. They put pucks into spaces. They limited turnovers. And LA is one of those teams that can play a very patient game. And usually they're the tight checking. They frustrate everybody and they cause you to open up and make mistakes. But actually, the Calgary Flames did it to the LA Kings tonight. And then again, a late goal by LA. Flames have to survive a penalty kill, and I thought they did an outstanding job in those last 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, no question about it. And obviously gets a little bit more sketchy after the goal that we think is a highlight reel save for Dustin Wolf to preserve a 2-0 hockey game, and then it ends up counting. And then it kind of felt like, okay, this is a little bit make or break time here over the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, and even I'm not gonna take away from the refs or pin anything extra on them, but also the Flames come out of that right after that goal is scored with down in the man advantage out of that scrum, and maybe at the time because it's 2-0, that's, you know, that happens in hockey where the odd time the team that's down gets a late penalty call for them. But again, great job by the Calgary Flames battling through that little bit of adversity.
Well, let's take a look at the goals here tonight and how we get to the 3-1 final. And we'll talk a little bit more about the first star on the night, Dustin Wolf, in just a moment. But as we get to the highlights, it was a patient game, as you mentioned, off the top for both teams because the Flames had chances in the first but couldn't find the first goal until the second period, and they jump all over this mistake in the Kings zone. Michael Backlund.
Yeah, it was a really nice forecheck here by Coronado, and he's been moving his feet as of late, and Gavrikov feels a little bit of pressure coming here, doesn't make a very good play, and Backlund's in a great spot, and that thing is up in the top shelf quickly.
Really quickly. 4 goals on the season for Backlund and goals in back-to-back games. 1-0 the lead at that point, and then it was the quick strike offense of the Flames because the next shift, Jonathan Huberdeau finds it on the breakaway.
Yeah, beautiful pass here by Kuzmenko. That's about a 150-footer down the ice. It was right on the tape. He doesn't have to break stride. He finds the back of the net. Huberdeau, he's starting to find his form. He's had a little bit more finish this season, and that was a big goal for the Calgary Flames to put them up 2-0.
Found some space and then finds the 5-hole, team-leading 6th goal of the season for Huberdeau and a 2-0 lead. And then here's the play that we talked about. Looks like Dustin Wolf makes a highlight reel save, but instead, after review, they determine that this puck does narrowly cross the line.
Yeah, and you're seeing it just inside the crossbar there. It's not always for certain that the crossbar lines up with the goal line, but the War Room got it right on that one, and I think that is a goal.
Hard to argue that one, and upon further review, it gets the Kings on the board, but only temporarily because it's Kevin Rooney that puts them away at the empty net goal, make it 3-1, and eventually seal this hockey game. But as mentioned, it was the penalty kill that ends up getting the credit that helps lead to that. And maybe, you guys, if we can show a little bit of that, just some of the work that the Killers did and took a number of guys. It wasn't just a group of 4. I think there was a few different groups that hopped over the boards and found a way to get that thing killed off.
Yeah, there was lots of sacrifice tonight. All throughout the game tonight, there were some big block shots. I know Mackenzie Weegar had a few. Huberdeau had a couple of great blocks. But you had guys selling out here, and there was lots of effort on this kill, and there's lots of hustle. You can see the team moving as a group of 4. As soon as one guy goes, the next guys are on a string being pulled with them. Kevin Ball narrowly misses the empty net here. And they made it really hard on the LA Kings entries. They never really gave them a chance to set up. They were kind of disjointed, scrambly, and there were some really nice clears at key times on that penalty kill.
A little deception there from Dustin Wolf. Looked like he might take a shot.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a fake. That's got to be the communication right there between D-Man man, and I feel like you could almost hear Rasmus Andersson yelling for that puck from Wolf.
Leave it.
And that was a really good job of Wolf backing off, giving it to his defenseman, and letting him get the clear.
And everybody's kind of going the way that Wolf is looking, and then Rasmus kind of just sneaks it out the backside and gets a good clear there.
And again, if it wasn't supposed to happen that way, it at least looked like it was supposed to.
Fooled us. I think even the camera bit on that one. It was such a good fake. Dustin Wolf and Rasmus Andersson. Either way, they find a way to get it done. Michael Backlund finishes with a goal and an assist here tonight. And let's go inside the locker room. Let's get some reaction to tonight's game and start with who we got in the room there, guys. Jonathan Huberdeau. Okay, he's got the goal, and that stands as the game winner following tonight's victory. 6th of the season for Huberdeau. Let's listen in on what he has to say postgame.
Is that not to make it too much of it, but is that one of the maybe the most complete game of your season? And if so, how come?
It is. I think from the get-go. I mean, I said this morning that we needed to start on time and be all over them, and that's what we did. But I think doing it like over and over, I think it wears them down, and that's what we did. And I think obviously Wolf was making some great saves out there. Obviously unfortunate with that goal.
Yeah. Pass from Kuzmenko too. Beautiful, huh?
Yeah, it was fluttering a little bit, but it was a good pass though. It was obviously. He's a great player. I mean, he's making a lot of plays, and I think it was a great pass, and then fortunate to get a breakaway.
Is it fair to say after the first period, despite it being 0-0, you took momentum from that period into the second?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, scoring 2 quick goals and taking advantage. I think we deserved it the way we were working. I think we needed to capitalize, and that's what we did. And I think after that we didn't look back.
A lot was made of your connection with Anthony Manta and what it might bring to you. Just hearing that he's out for the season, it's got to be heartbreaking, right?
It is. It's never easy, obviously, to lose a guy all year and, he's coming in here and wants to prove himself and, getting a bad injury like that. It's never easy. We feel for him and, hopefully it's going to be speedy recovery. The surgery is going to go well. So I think it's, it's like I said, it's unfortunate, but, we'll think about it.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Jonathan Huberdeau, the 6th goal of his season, team leading, and kind of chirped the pass. A little flutter, you said, I think, on that outlet.
It was a little bit of a one-hopper there.
Yeah,
but
it was, yeah.
Sometimes those are perfect, right? Just one hop right on the tape. And I got to give Jonathan Huberdeau credit tonight. It was end of the second period, about 15 seconds left. Big slapper coming from just above the tops of the circles, and he steps right in front of it to block that shot. That probably is not going to show up on the highlight reel. Early in the third period, they're trying a nice cross-ice pass high in the zone, the LA Kings, and he knocks it out of midair with his stick, makes a great play. And then again, towards the end of the third period, I thought he made some really smart decisions with the puck. Sometimes those guys that, are your offensive stars, they want to keep pressing and trying to put points up on the board, but he stuck to the plan tonight, and he had just some really simple dumps. He made some really nice moves through the neutral zone to put the puck into safe areas, and I got to give him a lot of credit tonight. He played a really solid game.
Well, and the coaches love that. The time in the play stuff, late third period, you're up 2 goals. At the times you're talking about, too, and just making the safe, smart choice.
Yeah. And
live another day, get another shift.
To defensive grinders, it's like it's just the way you think, but not everybody thinks the game the same way, and some guys need a little reminding of how to play the game, but the whole team tonight played the game the right way.
Yeah, good decisions all around, and he just mentioned briefly there about Dustin Wolf, and too bad about the late goal because of the way he played tonight. And let's focus on him just a moment. 29 saves. He's 3 of the last 4 starts now for the Calgary Flames. He started 2 on the road as well, and just been solid back there as this goalie tandem continues. Each guy has 8 starts to this point through 16 games. What did you see from Wolfie here tonight?
Well, again, right here early on Moore in the first period, he's got to make a breakaway stop, and that's huge and really well played. Anze Kopitar had a couple of chances, another one in tight here, and that guy's not easy to stop. He's a perennial goal scorer. And again, here's another one right tight in the slot. So for me, he just was ready to go from the get-go. Some of his best work came after the Flames went up 2-0. He had a couple of large scrums in front of him. He found pucks, he battled. He was underneath the pile at times, finding those pucks coming through shin pads. And again, a little unfortunate at the end of the game to have that last one go in. And again, I thought he was going to get out of this game without any against, but really nice body of work from Dustin Wolf tonight.
And a helper on the night, too. His first career assist on the night. Just
Yeah,
like
let's not forget that. He got that assist over to Kuzmenko, who
Yeah.
made that fluttery pass down to Huberdeau. And I think that's his first ever as a Flame.
Yeah, it is. First NHL point for Wolf, and almost had his first clean sheet or blank slate, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
I won't say the other word.
No, that's not. Let's just leave it as is.
Heck of a night, though, for Dustin Wolf. We'll hear from him in just a moment. Maybe before we go into the room, guys, let's talk about Connor Zary, because I know he's coming up here, heading to the podium. He said to me in the first intermission, he just feels like guys are getting chances and they're bearing, and he's like, I gotta bear down on some of my chances. But man, did he have a mitt full of them here tonight?
Yeah, and some high skill plays. Like,
Unbelievable.
He's doing some of this stuff at top speed, and you were saying, Parker, you can't even do this stuff standing still.
No, definitely
So,
not.
you know what? He had a couple of little backhand. I guess they're not toe drags; they're little backhand drags. He
Yeah.
was around the net tonight. He had a beautiful backhand chance that went off the crossbar. Undresses Gavrikov here.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite connect with Sharkey. And I think we're going to see this backhand play right here. Advantageous bounce right to him. Great move. And again, sometimes when you're fighting it, that's the way it goes. And we thought he'd gone 10 games without a goal. But you were saying, again, he snuck one the other night in Montreal. But before that, what was it, 9 games?
Yeah, 9 games before that. But, still getting helpers and assists. And I think he's got 8 points on the year. And it just seems like he's been all around it all the time. And, for a guy that, if you feel like you're snake bitten, but you still got 8 points and now 3 goals on the year, it's not bad, but you just know that there's been some really good looks for him throughout the course of it.
It's frustrating because he could be a point per game type of guy
Yeah,
with
he's had
some of
that
the
type
moves
of
that he's
looks.
made and moves in all alone. And again,
Yeah.
you keep getting them, they'll eventually go in, though.
Well, that's just it. I think that's got to be kind of where you think about it, is just stick with it, and eventually a few of those will find the back of the net, and some good looks tonight.
And it also never feels as bad when they don't go in for you when your team's getting wins.
Sure.
So that's the bottom line.
Well, let's hear from him now. Connor Zary led the team with 5 shots here tonight. You saw a number of those quality looks. One of them doesn't even count as a shot because it went off the crossbar. Here's Connor Zary now postgame.
Was that maybe the team's most complete game of the season?
Yeah, for sure. I think we've talked about our starts a lot, especially on that road trip. I thought we knew as a team we came out flat, kind of had to claw back and climb back, and obviously we've been good at that, playing from behind. But we really want to come out and have a start and get a lead. I think we talked about it right before we went out. Let's try and score the first goal of the night and play with a lead. So I think that was really good by us, and to get that full 60, that was a lot like how we kind of started the year. And we've obviously kind of been back and forth a little bit, but when you see games like that and are able to be complete like that, it's huge for us.
So what maybe did you do differently, Connor, in the first period that maybe you hadn't done?
I think we were just simple. We kind of just started right from the first shift, getting on the forecheck. I think that's what's huge for us. That's our game is to keep it simple and get that going, and then keep making plays from there once we get in the offensive zone. So I think that's huge for us, and it's kind of just, it's not really one of those things that there's a secret recipe. It's kind of just be ready, get your legs moving. It's as simple as that.
How'd you feel? How'd you feel tonight? I mean, you were all over it all night long.
Yeah, I feel great. Obviously, I think my game's been really good, and I feel really good about it. Obviously, I got to put the puck in the back of the net, and the chances are great, but eventually you got to start to produce. So that's a bit frustrating, but I think overall I can't complain with how the overall game's been played.
You've seen Dustin do this at different levels. What you make of his performance tonight?
Yeah, he's great. I think I've been around him for the last 4 years now, so he's special. He's so good. He's so quick, and just the way he plays the game, the way he reads it, it's unbelievable. So obviously we want to see him keep doing that.
I don't think you guys are short on reasons like Justin Kirkland, but you got to appreciate him standing up for you in a situation like that.
Yeah, for sure. That's huge. He's one of the best guys. I played with him in Stockton a few years back, and obviously I know him quite well. And for him to come off the bench, he doesn't really have to do something like that. But for me to see that, that's pretty special. And obviously it makes you feel good as a teammate and as a friend. Thanks guys.
All right, there's some thoughts from Connor Zary following tonight's 3-1 win, and you talked about it all around it here this evening. The chances are great, as he said, but eventually you'd like to see a couple of those find the back of the net, but time will probably solve that. If the chances keep on coming at the rate they came tonight, a few of those are definitely going to find their way in at some point here.
Yeah, and looks, he's still smiling in there, right?
Yeah,
He did the interview with a big smile on his face because the ultimate goal is to get those 2 points, and they did a great job of it. And, got a young man early in his career, 23 years old, big upside for Connor Zary. And again, his his patience with the puck last year early in his rookie season is what I really enjoyed, and just his smarts with the puck. And now we're seeing some of that high-end offensive skill that he possesses because of that confidence that he developed over the course of last year. So eventually it's all going to come together and really start clicking for him.
All right, let's go back inside the room. Tonight's first star, 29 saves on the evening, is Dustin Wolf. He's standing by postgame.
How would you assess, first of all, the overall game of this group tonight to come back home and get what looked to be a pretty complete game?
100%. That was a full 60 minutes from our group, and that's what we should expect from ourselves. When we play like that, we put ourselves in an opportunity to win each and every night, and it's a good hockey club over there, and a tight 2-1 game is important for us.
Were you feeding off them? Were they feeding off you, or was it kind of that connectivity that you guys have talked about?
No, I think everyone as a whole just shut them down, and any chances they had, I was able to see for the most part, and and I'm just trying to help keep pucks out of our net, and if we score one more than when they do, then we're going to be in pretty good hands.
What did you see on the goal that they counted? Did you kind of have a feeling that it might be in?
I knew it was close. When I dove over, I thought maybe my glove was close to the line. From the view on the jumbo, it looked really tight. So I thought we might get away with it, but the guy said that the cam in the back of the net kind of showed it by just a hair. Unfortunate, and especially when we had to go back on the kill right away. But good to get that win.
I'm sure you were losing a lot of sleep over not having any NHL points. Tom Brasso was the NHL all-time leader with 48 assists. So you feel like you're coming for him now?
Yeah, that's one. We'll see what happens.
How soon after losing the shutout do you think, okay, well, now I've assisted on the game winner?
I didn't even know that until Hubie said, I think you let that in so you could be a part of the game winner. It's pretty cool. Glad we could get that win, and now we move on to tomorrow.
We've heard so much about the start. From your vantage point, what was different in the first, whether it's 10 minutes, first period, whatever you saw, what was different tonight?
Yeah, we took it to them right from the drop of the puck. The last few games we've had a tendency to give one up early, and we dominated the play. I think the shots were like 7 or 8-0 before they had one on net, and if we have starts like that, we're going to put ourselves in a good position to win the period and set ourselves up for the next.
Dustin, guys like Kevin Fiala, Kopitar, they didn't really have much. Can you speak to maybe your defensemen and what they did to limit the Kings there?
Yeah, our gaps have been really good. If they're tight on their gaps, it limits their opportunity to 1, get around them, and 2, shoot through them. But they were a great job boxing out, letting me see as much as I could, and anytime I made a save and there was a rebound, they were there to clear it away. So, like I said, it's a full team effort from the forwards, D out, and we're just glad to get the 2 points.
Okay, we got to wrap it up there. Thanks.
Yep.
Cheers to another season of great times and great taste. Celebrate things done well. Original 16, official beer sponsor of the Calgary Flames. Must be legal drinking age.
Inside Flames postgame live, brought to you by Original 16. Heard from Dustin Wolf, 29 saves in the victory here tonight, and full marks to the entire Calgary Flames lineup for the 3-1 win. And we're going to get some thoughts postgame now from the head coach, Ryan Huskett, before the team takes off to Vancouver.
What was your assessment of what you got out of your group tonight?
I liked our game tonight. There's a lot of good from a lot of players, so there's not a lot that I could be overly critical of tonight. I thought it was a pretty solid 60 minutes.
That didn't get rewarded in that first period, but did you feel that was the start of what led into the start of the second?
Well, it was a good first period. It was something for us to build off of. And as I said this morning, I don't think the starts have been just awful for us over the last little bit. I know there's always things that get made out of that. There's always one moment that kind of shifts momentum at times, and I thought tonight we did a good job of not losing that, and we kept it on our side throughout the first period.
Is this as good a five-man style game that your team has played all year?
It would be up there. There was a lot, as I said, there was a lot of good. Even when we didn't have the puck, I thought we weren't cheating the game at all. We weren't looking to hope a puck was going to bounce our direction and maybe get an offensive opportunity. I thought there was commitment to play the game the right way tonight from everybody.
much the two players, but you talk about moving your feet a lot. It felt like both Kuzmenko and Zary were really doing a lot of that.
Connor was very fast early on. Like, that's maybe the quickest I've seen him look at the NHL level. And Kuzi was the same. Kuzi ended up making a nice pass on Hubie's goal, but I thought both guys had impact tonight. And at the end of the day, eventually they're going to fall for Connor. He's had a lot of those chances where he's been in tight and he hasn't been able to finish. But if he's getting those opportunities, he's going to eventually score. But I guess my main thing for those two guys is they are capable of doing it all the time. And tonight was a great example of the type of player they can be for us, for sure.
After we spoke to you this morning, we did find out that Anthony Mantha is out for the season. I imagine that's just, you just feel for the player.
Yeah, it's awful. Even when you saw the hit in Montreal, you're like, okay, maybe he might miss a little bit of time. And when we got the news, it was fairly significant. You do feel gutted for the player because it's not an easy thing to come back from. But with Mo, I think he's going to do things the right way. He'll get it done, and he'll get working on his rehab right away and put himself in a position to be able to come back.
Ryan, if I can just circle back on Zary, when he beats a guy, and when anyone beats a guy kind of clean one-on-one the way he did early, do you notice, does it change maybe the space they get or the way they're defended for the rest of the night?
I think with certain players around the NHL, I think there's a tendency for defensemen, if they get beat one time by a certain guy, we see number 97 do it a fair bit, where a D-man will stay tight to start with on him, and then they back off because they're worried about getting embarrassed. With Connor, I think he's starting to get a bit of a reputation that he can make those plays at speed, but I don't know if that's the reason why yet.
Yeah. Speak to the poise of your goalie after giving up, a long video review and then losing the shutout, and then suddenly you're under siege.
Yeah, I thought he was awesome tonight. Like, I was hoping that one he could have maybe found a way to keep out because he deserved not to let anything get by him the way he was playing tonight. But really good effort from him, and I thought he was a guy that gave our team a lot of confidence in front of him tonight.
Okay.
Okay, thank you guys. Have a good night.
Good stuff from the coach there, and we know the situation that was on the line there as that puck's fired at Dustin Wolf late, and Coach Huska put it pretty well. He deserved to not let anything get by him, and they'll take that. I would assume you'd probably see Dan Vladar tomorrow night, though, because it's a quick turn here, and now kind of an odd schedule, 3 games in 4 nights, 1 at home, and now back out on the road here in Vancouver.
It's no rest for you travelers.
Yeah, well, we got to go, actually. Just quickly, though, Remembrance Day today, obviously, and you wanted to give a little hat tip to a gentleman.
Left all my poppies on all my other coats, and on the concourse, ran into a nice gentleman, I believe it was Don, that handed his over for me, so
Perfect.
thank you, sir, for bailing me out.
Thank you, Don or Dan or whatever might be. We're pretty sure it's Don. Thanks for the assist tonight for Sarich, and obviously a beautiful tribute here pregame as well on Remembrance Day, and being able to salute our men and women who are currently serve and all those who made the ultimate sacrifice here on this day, November the 11th, Remembrance Day. As for tonight, the Calgary Flames find a way to get the job done. They say maybe but their complete effort of the season. 3-1 the final tonight as they get it done. Thanks to a couple of goals in the second period and an empty netter. Dustin Wolf, sensational, 29 saves in the victory. And we get to line it up and do it all over again in about 24 hours time. It's the Flames and Canucks from Rogers Arena tomorrow before the Flames get some extended time on home ice starting on Friday night. Preds and Flames as they open up a homestand. Thanks for watching Flames Postgame Live, brought to you by Original 16. We'll see you on Friday night.